a motor vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay, so I require you to give me your details. If you don't, it is an arrestable offence.
Right, but am I on the highway?
Pardon?
Am I on the highway?
You've been driving this vehicle?
Yeah, but am I on the highway now?
You've been driving this vehicle?
Welcome to Court Update, where we bring accountability to the forefront by examining police encounters, legal issues, and alleged misconduct. Today's episode comes from Auditor Brett Chamberlain. Be sure to check the link below, subscribe to his channel, and give him the credit he deserves. In this audit, Brett presents what he considers a clear win in a coin payment dispute. After fueling over £200 worth at Shell and filling several jerry cans, he attempts to pay using Royal Mint coins, lawful tender under UK currency rules. Staff refuse the payment and call the police. What happens next is surprising. The responding officer arrives loudly sharing private information, appearing to disregard protocol, and demonstrating questionable handling of the situation. Throughout the exchange, Brett stays calm, explains his understanding of the law, and ultimately leaves the scene confident in his position, though his coins are not returned. A tense moment for both Shell staff and the officers involved. In today's climate, when many feel that civil liberties are under pressure and authority is becoming increasingly aggressive, standing together is more important than ever. Now, let's get into the video.
Did my colleague get your name?
Yeah, he got my first name.
Do you mind if I take your first name? Is that okay?
What's your name and number then?
My name 2928 is PC Lee.
PC Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your name?
Well, I'm not prepared to divulge it in front of people that aren't police.
Okay. Well, I can ask that gentleman to step away if that's all right.
Yeah. Right. So what? Under what act are you asking for my details?
It's because we've been called today.
Yeah.
Okay. Anytime we get called to an incident,
yeah,
we like to get your name.
Yeah. What section of which act are you requiring my name?
I'm not saying it's under any act. You don't have to give your name to me today because you haven't committed an offence.
No.
But it's just for our records.
Yeah.
So would you be prepared to give me your name?
No.
No? Okay, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to make a note of your car registration.
That's fine, yeah.
Okay, is that alright?
Yep.
So all we're doing at the minute, obviously there's been a bit of confusion over the coins.
Yep.
Turns out that, as you said, they are legal tender, so
yep,
so it's now down to the petrol station whether they accept them. So your vehicle has come back to either a Brett Chamberlain.
You shouldn't be saying this in front of the people.
They can't hear me.
Yeah, they can.
Do you want me to ask them to move away?
Right from the beginning, the officer stumbles over some of the most basic principles of good policing. Instead of calming the situation and figuring out what actually happened, she jumps straight into demanding Brett's name. When he chooses not to provide it, she immediately runs his number plate, then loudly announces, "Your vehicle's come back to a Brett Chamberlain," right in front of Shell staff. That isn't professional policing. It's effectively exposing someone's personal information in public. Brett calls her out instantly, prompting her to move the conversation somewhere more private, and he's absolutely justified in doing so. Officers have a responsibility to safeguard personal details, not broadcast them across a forecourt like casual chatter. Her approach wasn't just unprofessional. It showed a worrying disregard for privacy, data handling standards, and basic officer conduct.
You shouldn't divulge my personal details that you've got for Police National Computer.
I wasn't divulging them to them.
Well, you were. You were speaking loud enough voice that they would have heard.
Well, they're not.
Right. Okay. Go on then.
So, a Brett Chamberlain.
Right.
What was your name?
Which section, which act you requiring me to give my name?
Road Traffic Act. You're driving a motor vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay, so I require you to give me your details. If you don't, it is an arrestable offence.
Right, but am I on the highway?
Pardon?
Am I on the highway?
You've been driving this vehicle.
Yeah, but am I on the highway now?
You've been driving this vehicle.
But am I on the highway now?
Can you just give me your details, please, and then we can get this sorted?
Am I on the highway?
So what
yeah,
they're
but I'm
going
asking
to
a
do,
question. Am I on the highway?
You're not on a highway right now, but you have been on a highway.
Yeah, so you could have requested my details when I was on the highway, but now I'm not on the highway. You can't, can you?
I can.
You could wait until I leave, and then you could pull me over.
Road Traffic Act, I can request your details.
Yeah, only on the highway, but not...
Can you just give me your details, please?
This is the point where the officer's grasp of the Road Traffic Act seems to completely unravel. Just moments earlier, she acknowledged that no offense had been committed. Yet suddenly she's trying to demand Brett's personal details under traffic powers that only apply when an offense has actually occurred. The contradiction couldn't be more obvious. Under the Road Traffic Act, officers can request driver information only when someone is driving or in charge of a vehicle on a public highway at the time of an alleged offense.
Brett was stationary on a private forecourt, far outside the scope of those powers. What this really highlights is a lack of proportionality. There's no crime, no threat, no disorder, yet her approach escalates the situation as if it were some major incident. A well-trained officer would have stepped back, clarified the facts with staff, and resolved the matter calmly.
Look, this is all about rights, okay? Now,
Yeah,
I've got a right not to give you my details unless I have committed an offence. Right, the Road Traffic Act it is referring to vehicles on the highway, not on private property. So if you're saying that I have to give you my details under the Road Traffic Act and I'm not on a highway, then you're infringing on my rights. Do you think I should provide my details on private forecourt?
Yes, I believe you should.
Because of the Road Traffic Act?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, why is that then?
Are you going to provide me
No,
your
I'm
details?
just asking you these questions. I may well provide my details, but you have to articulate the law as to why.
Under the Road Traffic Act?
Yeah.
Okay. You have used a highway to get here today, have you not?
That's not the point though, is it?
You have used a highway to get here today.
Yeah,
Under the
I
Road
have.
Traffic Act,
Yeah.
okay, I can ask you to give your details.
So in other words, you could knock on my front door, my car's on my drive, and you could say, under the Road Traffic Act, I want your details, and you must have been on the highway in your car.
You wouldn't be in your vehicle, would you?
Doesn't make sense.
You wouldn't be sat in your vehicle.
Doesn't matter though, does it?
She treats the Road Traffic Act as if it's some kind of catch-all authority, insisting that because Brett used the highway to get to the petrol station, she can now demand his personal details. But that's simply not how the law operates. Powers under Section 172 of the Road Traffic Act 1988 apply only when an officer reasonably believes a driver has committed a specific traffic offense while on a road or in a public place. Merely having driven on the highway earlier does not create an ongoing obligation to provide details once you're parked somewhere else. Brett's example about a car on a private driveway illustrates the flaw perfectly. If her logic were correct, an officer could walk onto anyone's property, see them sitting in their car, and insist on their details purely because they once used the road. It's an argument that doesn't hold up to scrutiny and shows a worrying misunderstanding of the limits of traffic-related police powers.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you a bit of a break, right? So I reckon if I was parked in the car park, yeah, then I wouldn't have to provide my details. But because there's a way in and a way out, that means in law, in case law, it's an extension of the highway.
Okay.
And on that basis, I'll provide my details.
Would you like to give me your date of birth?
I can give you my driving licence because you. First of all, which section, which act?
Would you like to give me your driving licence?
No, which section, which
Under the
act?
Road Traffic Act.
Yeah, what section?
I'm asking you for your driving licence.
Yeah, which section, which
Can you
act?
just give me your driving licence?
You don't know it, do you?
There you go, 163.
That requires me to stop. If a police officer asks me to stop, but which?
And to give your details, sir.
No, that's another act. Go on. Which sections?
I'd have to check, sir.
Do you want me to tell you? 164.
164.
That's it. Very good.
There we go.
Right, so
This is where things get uncomfortable, and Brett turns the tables using the officer's own legislation. Before handing over his license, he calmly asks, "Under what section of the Road Traffic Act?" The shift in energy is immediate. Her colleague quickly jumps in with Section 163, but Brett corrects him straight away. Section 163 only allows police to stop a vehicle on a public road, nothing more. It doesn't grant the power to demand personal details or a driving license once the vehicle is already stationary on private property. Brett then points to the relevant legislation, Section 164 of the Road Traffic Act 1988, which covers the production of a driving license, not stop powers, and not blanket authority to question someone without a valid reason. It's a simple distinction, yet the officers appear to mix the two up, creating confusion that shouldn't occur in a routine encounter.
They're trying to give you your money back.
it's not my money. It's their money.
They're
It's
not
my
accepting
payment.
your money. Pardon?
It's my payment.
They're not accepting it as payment. Are you accepting them giving your money back?
No.
Okay, well they're not accepting your payment then. So
Okay. Yeah.
you're still going to be, wait for that to go past, you're still going to be charged for the payment
Yep.
at a later date. Okay, they've got your car registration.
Yep.
They're going to forward it on to that. They can get your details from your car registration.
Yep.
They're going to forward that onto their head office, and
Yep.
you will be chased for payment later on. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Well, whatever. Yeah. I don't.
Are you going to accept your money back?
It's not my money. It's their money. It's also the Queen's money, actually.
Are you going to accept the Queen's money back?
No.
What do you want them to do with it then?
Put it in the till and accept payment.
Well, that's not going to be accepted as payment, so I think you may as well just take it back.
Yeah.
Because what's that?
I'm not taking it back.
£200? More than that?
240.
Pardon?
248 £8.83.
Yeah, I think you may as well take that back.
No, I don't think so.
Out of pocket otherwise.
I'm not going to be out of pocket.
Pardon?
I won't be out of pocket. I've paid for my fuel with cash, with legal tender.
At this point, the officer seems to drift away from being an impartial enforcer of the law and begins sounding more like a representative for Shell. She acknowledges that the issue is a civil dispute, yet openly leans toward the business's position, encouraging Brett to simply take his money back rather than recognizing his right to insist on paying with legal tender. A police officer's role is to maintain order and apply the law fairly, not to nudge a member of the public toward whatever outcome best suits a corporation. When Brett mentions the amount, £248, she responds with, "Yeah, I think you should take that back," as though her personal preference has legal weight. The remark comes across as dismissive, unhelpful, and shows a concerning misunderstanding of the limits of her authority in a civil matter.
Oh.
All I'm doing is advising you, okay?
Yeah.
Like I say, this is a civil matter.
Yeah.
I can just give you advice to take the money back.
Right.
If you don't want to, fair enough. But just to let you know, they're going to raise it with their head office.
Yeah.
And their head office will be in touch, okay?
Yeah, okay then.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Have you got any further questions or not?
No.
They would like your details. Are you willing to give them your details?
No, they're private.
Pardon?
They're private.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, they've got my registration number, haven't they?
They've got your registration, but it's just whether you wanted to comply with them and give them your details, okay? I'll let them know that you're not giving them your details, and what would you like them to do with the money?
Well, it's up to them to do what they want with it. Obviously, it's payment, so...
Well, they're not accepting it as payment, okay?
Yeah, but obviously they may well get legal advice, and the legal advice might tell them that they need to accept it, and therefore, if they've given me the money back, then they've got no way to recover the money, then, have they? Because
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that if they did give it back, there would be no recourse in law to recover the funds later on. So I'm doing them a favour by saying, look, you hang on to it, it's payment for my fuel. I'm not a fuel thief.
In plain terms, what Brett is doing is common sense backed by solid legal reasoning. He's not refusing to pay. He's protecting both himself and the business from a bigger problem. By leaving the money with Shell, he keeps the transaction open and preserves evidence that he made a lawful offer of payment. If Shell later get proper legal advice and realize they were wrong to refuse the Royal Mint coins, the payment is already there and can be accepted without any issues. But if Brett had taken the money back, that offer would disappear, leaving him with no way to prove the payment was made. It's a level of foresight and clarity you rarely see in these situations. Brett isn't being difficult, he's being smart.
If they then pursue a civil matter and it comes back that it doesn't go in your favour, then you're going to be out of pocket. That's all I'm thinking. If you still have to pay for the fuel again...
How am I going to be out of pocket? Because what would have happened to the money that I've given them?
Pardon?
I've given them the money, haven't I? So how can I be out of pocket?
Okay, so you're not accepting the money, no?
No.
Okay.
Have you got your body-worn camera on?
Yeah, there.
Oh, so you didn't tell me about that either, did you?
Is there?
Yeah, but no, in the policy it says that you need to advise somebody. In fact, everything that's happened up until this point is not admissible in court because you didn't...
I can't hear you.
I said everything that's happened on that camera is not admissible in court because you failed to advise me that you were recording. In the policy, your policy...
What section is that? What policy is that?
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay,
I'll tell you what, loads of people on YouTube will get back to you on that, so if you just look up this video, they'll explain the police's own...
That's perfect. I don't tend to watch police videos on YouTube.
No, you obviously didn't listen either when you were being instructed that you need to advise members of the public at the earliest opportunity that you're video recording them for evidence.
Like I say, what part of policy is that?
When Brett asks whether her body-worn camera is recording, she confirms it. But she doesn't realize she's already slipped up. According to College of Policing Operational Guidance, officers are required to clearly notify people as soon as recording begins, unless there's a valid operational reason not to. She failed to do that. Brett points out that, because of this, the footage might not even be admissible in court. He's correct. Evidence captured without following proper notification procedures can be challenged for procedural noncompliance, particularly if it impacts fairness or transparency.
Have you got any evidence bags in the car just for the money where you take it by the CPR?
Yeah. All right, I'm off then.
No